a new bunch on the block in the National Hockey League, the Edmonton Oilers. By name, the Oilers have won the Stanley Cup. Getting it out to Yari Curry. Back to the line. Shot by Crosby. Scores! Wow.
Come on, Marty.
Do you remember the starting lineup?
I do indeed, but I had to ask Kevin Lowe, who was on the ice at the time, and it was Kevin Lowe and Lee Fogelin on defense with Dave Dryden in goal. And the forward line, Wayne Gretzky was not in the starting lineup.
Right.
The forward line comprised Stan Weir, Dave Hunter, and Dave Lumley.
And here we are, the 8th year in the NHL as far as the Oilers are concerned, and they have 2 Stanley Cup championships. And I think that is remarkable because no other expansion team, I guess, and that's what you'd have to call the Edmonton Oilers when they went in 1979. It wasn't officially an expansion team, but it wasn't officially a merger either. I don't know what they call it, I forget, but no other team has done it quicker.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Edmonton Oilers.
From day one, there was a select group of boys in the back of the bus, and Dave Semenko was one, and Wayne Gretzky was one, and Mark Messier was one, and Dave Hunter was another, and Dave Lumley was one of those guys. And Dave Lumley always had a great knack for recalling fond memories. We'd be on the bus, and he would say, "Do you guys remember about 3 years ago, such and such a day, such and such a city, this happened?"
Downtown New York.
There's 7 of us. We like to call ourselves the Magnificent Seven. We've been here for, since the very beginning. The attitude we had was, we don't win many games, but we sure have a good time. Boy, oh boy, it was like a kid in a candy store. Our whole team was like that, some of the things we did. Game day there's a strict regimen you go through. You skate in the morning of the game. And you go back to the hotel and have a meal, and most of the guys have a little sleep in the afternoon and then go to the rink. Well, we thought our first trip to L.A., let's take advantage of it. It was beautiful out. So we went up to Marina Del Rey. There was Dave Semenko, Peter Driscoll, Brett Callaghan, and myself. We rented a boat. I said, let's rent a boat and we'll go out in the ocean. We'd never seen the Pacific Ocean before. So we get this boat, and it was a little 4.5 horsepower, I think, and just this little wee 10-foot dinghy. 4 of us in our suits and ties, out into the ocean. And all of a sudden we almost got swamped. These big boats were coming by and huge waves, and we're in our suits and ties. Oh, it was hilarious. So we turned around. We said, we better get back out of here before we figured we were going to miss the game. We'd be swimming.
Mess, do you see your old teacher downstairs?
Oh, is he here?
Yeah, what's his name, Frank? Says he's waiting on the 8th floor of the lobby. The chemistry is the relationships built, the camaraderie. It certainly has been the major strength of the Oilers. Talent's one thing, but you need that tight-knit camaraderie, that tight-knit relationship to win.
Team tradition, shoe shine the rookies.
I do it.
Have you ever been caught yet? Never been caught yet.
Never?
He's the best.
Have you ever been shoe shine? Oh, right.
I've been shoe shine.
Who got you?
Kruzhelinski and Lummer.
Yeah, it's great to be able to do it that way too. You know, just bring in one guy at a time, and then he gets to know everybody, and everybody gets to know him, and then the following year you might bring in another couple of guys, and it seems like you just keep the family intact.
Wearing jersey 11, Bob McAneely. Number 12, Glenn Slatsater.
He did play on 6 teams in 10 years, so he obviously wasn't the most talented guy in the world.
You guys are too young to be out here without cold parts.
But in order to play 10 years in the NHL, you have to have a certain forte, and obviously his forte was his desire to play.
You want to play that kind of style? What year is this? 1971. Do they have a nickname?
Yeah, the gag line.
Why was that?
Goal a game line.
There you go.
Did they get a goal a game? Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I think that if the one thing that I do in this team is that I set most of the emotional tones for the club, because I'm competitive and I don't like to lose, and I'm proud of what I do, and I want the team to be the same way. I don't want them to quit. I don't want them to give up, and I don't want losing to be something that they'll accept. And that's, I mean, the guy that runs the team, I mean, you set those kind of tones for the club. You don't, I don't want to be second best at anything that I'm going to do.
The type of player he was is exactly the way he coaches. An instigator, an agitator, as he does on the bench. And he played with his heart, and he played with lots of emotion.
And I say I'd rather have an arrogant guy working for me than somebody that's a wimp. I don't think wimps are successful. If you want to be successful at anything, you got to believe in yourself, because no one else is going to do it. And if you don't do it yourself, then you can rely on everybody else that's been unsuccessful, and you can sit around the bar together and cry about it. But if you're going to do it, you do it by yourself. Take some guts to do that.
There's no doubt in my mind that he sort of cultured us along the way. And ask the guys now, and they might say, well, we did it all on our own. I mean, we learned about the theater in New York on our own, and we learned about restaurants. And a lot of teams frown on that stuff. The old school general managers and coaches, I mean, what's this kid? He should be reading hockey news. He's reading GQ magazine, Glenn encouraged that stuff. He just allowed us to grow. He was almost like a good parent.
Don't get your hopes up too high.
Yeah, it's a shame, like everybody just stereotypes you. You don't know what type of person you are. But that image I'll carry that, for the rest of my life as Wayne Gretzky's bodyguard. And so that's something you just can't, you can't change that at all.
Come on, Macker. Come on, Smank, hard.
It seems that most of the players' personalities are not at all like their personalities on the ice. And my family tell me, they see Marty McSorley or Dave Semenko, and they see them on the ice, and then they actually meet them, and they go, those guys are the nicest boys. I mean, they're no longer regulators, they're boys. And they just have nice personalities. And Marty, coming from a farming background, coming from a big family that had great cohesiveness. There was obviously lots of love. Marty's dad pops into Boston every once in a while, or into Pittsburgh, and doesn't phone Marty, just pops in and is just happy to watch his son play the game. And before you know it, he's headed back to Ontario to the farm to sort of let the family know what Marty's doing and what's going on. I think in most cases the players in our teams come from good families, from families that are very together, and maybe that's part of the camaraderie that we've had.
I was just scared I was on my wrong side. I want to get back into play.
Oh, you're on your wrong side. Stay there until we get to the
All right.
You were telling me the other day about your definition of tough, your dad's definition of tough.
Well, I'll tell you, city boys, how tough it is. Growing up on a farm, we back in the field one day working ground, actually planting a crop, and there's a coyote sitting about 40 yards outside the bush, just keeping an eye on us. She had a den inside the woods, and the dog's back there running around with us. We had the flat rack back there with all the seed on it. The dog figures he's gonna take off after the coyote, so he takes off after the coyote, and the coyote kind of lopes in the woods. I'm driving around the tractor. About 10 seconds later, you see this dog come charging out of the woods and the coyote right on his tail. Dog flies over to the wagon, jumps up in the wagon, away from the fight. The coyote's sitting about 30 yards away from the wagon. Well, my dad sees that and he peels over to the wagon with the tractor, jumps off the tractor, grabs the dog by the scruff of the neck and throws him right back out into the fight.
Get out there.
Get out there.
If it doesn't hurt, don't cry.
That's tough.
Do that to him, Marty. You know I'm not going to pick on the little guy.
misconduct's handed out here, guys.
We had already started developing a sort of an image as the Los Angeles or the Oakland Raiders of the NHL. I mean, there was a lot of reclamation projects, and Glenn, over the years had brought in players that other teams had sort of given up on, more because of public problems than anything else, nothing to do with talent.
Oh, was I excited?
Oh boy, am I get gray hair yet?
Glenn knew the personnel on our team. He knew the guys. He knew that a Craig McTavish would be accepted with open arms. I mean, we're all human, and we all realize that we're susceptible to error.
Well, he got in trouble in Boston. He had a car accident, and a girl got killed, and he got charged with vehicular homicide and spent a year in jail. And I was reading a protected list, which the league sends out every couple of weeks, and it's a reserve list, which everybody has their properties on this list. So I study these lists all the time and try to find somebody that's missed somebody, and his name wasn't on it. So then I, found where he was in Correctional Institute and called him, and he said, "Yeah, I'd like to come."
This is what it takes to win the Stanley Cup. 12 stitches in the head.
That was pain-free. You're the best.
I was happy to get a chance to play here, but I like to think it's a two-way street too, that I contributed and played a part in it last year.
That wasn't pain-free.
Whenever you have a group of people and they're young people, young players that have that much talent, they're not married, single guys, young guys, getting it all at an early age, and you think they're cocky and arrogant.
Somebody, who wants to wear this? Come on. Guy gets a $1,000 bonus if he wears this. Yeah, I wear that. I wear it. Come on. That's great. You want to wear my...
I'm not even Catholic.
Well, even when I go back to Boston now in the summer, I talk to players from Boston, Gord Kluzak and so forth, and, we're good friends, and he'll say, well, I was happy to see you had a good year, but Jesus Christ, the rest of those guys, I mean, we're hated.
Hey, Merrill Stubings.
Good love. We're going to be facing the other way.
Billy got an extra large in this one? Really?
Picking up one notch now.
Messier is certainly the soul of the team. He's very capable of showing his emotions and letting people know where he is. And a lot of times people are question those emotions and whether or not they want to get too close to a guy who appears to be as ferocious as he is. His talents are obvious, but to know that this guy's genuine and he desperately wants to win.
And okay, but maybe it's not such a challenge that you got to go out there and match
But that's
this or match that. But you have a challenge. You can't tell me you don't have a challenge in your own mind that when you step on that ice, that you have enough pride and a challenge to go out there and to challenge even yourself if it's a challenge.
Well, I go on the ice and I have fun. I do. That's the only way I can sum it up. And all I'm trying to say to you is that I can have fun playing with you and him and him and him because I'm playing with the best players in the world. But I can go on the ice and play with Joe and Ed and have just as much fun.
But even though you're having fun, you're still challenging it. You're challenging yourself or you're challenging something.
Mark Messier's motto is live every day like it's your last, and that's sort of the way he plays. He is such a fierce competitor. He plays every game like it's going to be his last. He uses that statement often, like, fellas, there's nothing to save it for. There's nowhere to hide out there, so you play with reckless abandon. And that's how most players in the National Hockey League, I'm sure, perceive Mark Messier. Like, this guy is way out of control.
How can you give me a stick really because my stick broke? Because he fall down and my stick broke? Is that
And stay out of his way. Most of the guys on the team are pretty well an open book. You can read into what they're all about, what sort of personality they are. But for years, everyone's questioned Glenn Anderson. So there's just a mystique about him. He's extremely happy-go-lucky, and perhaps that's his dad's upbringing, being a fisherman. I mean, not that this fisherman's a simple life by any means, but it's free. It's the ability to chart the unknown, and that's where Glenn Anderson is.
Different ways I do different things at different times that a lot of people don't expect to have happen. And like what? Well, I guess you have to get to know me a little better to find out, don't you?
They say you never know what Anderson's really thinking.
Sometimes I don't.
There they go.
He jumps around from milieu to milieu. I mean, one minute he's Glenn Anderson, a horse entrepreneur. The next minute he's rubbing elbows with the premier of the province. And the next minute he's barefoot in the Orient. Who knows where he's going to be?
Good, he's yelling at him, telling him to go back in there.
His style on the ice is wild, out of control style. But people talk to him about it and say, listen, I mean, you're out of control out there. You're going to kill yourself. And he goes, oh, I'm not out of control. He says, I know what I'm doing. Messier and Anderson complement each other. Glenn's happy-go-lucky in a mysterious sort of way. And Mark's happy-go-lucky in an obvious sort of way.
Go down, go down, go down!
I'm sure there was some concern from his part when he first became a professional hockey player because he had the experience of the Olympics and he played over in Japan where he was studying, and he played hockey mainly on a social level or on a level where it was just fun, it was a profession, and he heard the horror stories about the NHL. But what he found was a great bunch of guys whom all of a sudden he was having fun and became a part of.
An analogy I like to describe about this is a very bad experience that I had with a reporter from a Montreal newspaper. He had flown down to Pittsburgh to do an article, I think my first or second year. Of course, the typical, here's a doctor in a hockey team, it shouldn't work. You know, he is too smart, too intelligent. And that was the focus of his article. He tried to make the point that hockey players are very ignorant and all they know is hockey and drinking and partying, and they have no educational background. His last question to me was, well, how does it feel when you're up in your room reading medical books when the other fellows are sitting in their room reading comic books? And so, you know, I couldn't believe that anyone would ask a question like that, but of course I mentioned that certainly that's not the case, and that many of the qualities that the players show on and off the ice, the handling of the media, the fans, the pressure, the discipline and the intensity they show towards their teammates and towards the game they play, give me more respect for them than many of the doctors that I work with in the hospital.
The trick is in this thing is not to think. You can go out and just automatic.
That's the secret success of hockey. All hockey. Never think about it. Just
do it.
Never mind thinking.
Yuri, did you explain it to him? Or is he still confused?
In the case of the Finnish players that we've had over the years, there's always been one ahead of the newest ones coming that could speak English. Jari Kurri came and learnt English from Risto Siltanen, and Risto was his interpreter. And then when Esa Tikkanen and Raimo Suominen came, Jari Kurri became their interpreter. So we have to always maintain that flow of Finnish players, or we're going to break the cycle, and we're going to lose the interpreter somewhere along the line.
Okay?
Kurri is in control. He's got the perfect moves, and he's an elegant skater, and he's a fabulous stick handler. And if he was a Canadian, he'd be Jean Beliveau. And Esa Tikkanen, well, Esa, I suppose, is the Eddie Shack.
Get too much energy, you know, on the ice and off the ice. Most of the Finnish guys are more like quiet guys, easygoing guys, but this guy is full of energy. Every day, 24 hours. It's great.
Esa's just different. He's out of control. He's a Finnish project gone haywire. Esa Tikkanen should have been born in Swift Current or Thunder Bay or Chicoutimi.
Hold that. Go back again.
Mark, I'm voting no on this one again. This is too hard for them.
Gotta move the puck quick. Move it quick, Donnie, quick.
I like it now. It's getting better.
Get it up. There we go, that's it. Now we got the flow going here now.
It's a new drill. You just think of this one? They all got to touch the puck before they give it to the other defense.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the man of the hour, the man of the day, the man of the week, man of the month, the man of the year, Canada's own, Wayne Gretzky.
He's done a lot. He's accomplished a lot. He is probably the greatest player that ever played. Not only that, he's a pretty amazing person, and I love to sit back and not really analyze him, but watch him and try to understand, more so than anything, try to understand what makes him tick.
Change the board. Let's do the English one with the rest coming.
The fewer words I say, the better.
Really big for me this time. Are you ready? And action. Oh, Christ, what's this? Here's the ref. Jesus. Out. Love it.
He's a supernatural athlete. And at the same time, people expect him to be a supernatural person.
Heads up, heads up, heads up, heads up, please. Heads up.
Hi, Greg. Reporters will be huddled over him for an hour after the games, and he just does it, answers the questions. Can you imagine how many times he's had the question asked to him, well, how does it feel to be one of the greatest players in the world? I mean, every place we go to, guys ask him that question. He answers it, answers it, answers it.
Kidding anybody, it was 2-1. It could have been easily 3-0 for them. We didn't have a good third period in the second.
I mean, I get upset just thinking about guys asking him that same ridiculous question. And he never gets upset. I've never seen him yell at a reporter yet.
I just go out there and play my own game, and you know, tonight...
I mean, he's an ambassador to the game, and he's very similar to any diplomat. I mean, he's very similar to the president or the prime minister as far as I'm concerned. So he rarely lets his guard down. I mean, do you ever hear what Brian Mulroney or President Reagan does away from his office? I mean, you never hear about that, just like you never hear what Wayne Gretzky does.
So anyway, listen to my story. It's a unique story. 2 hours, we're sitting there, and he's going, Gretz, you see any birds? Slats, you see any birds? No, Andy, we'll call them. He's calling away. Eddie Burns? Oh, I don't know how a goose call. How was a goose call?
Same as definitely louder.
No. Okay, so Andy's going. So 2 hours later, we got no birds coming over. We figured out why. We were duck hunting. He's got a goose call.
He doesn't allow the general public to see that side of him. There's very few people to see that side of him because he's so conscious of his public image, which is fabulous. But he's so conscious of that image that he rarely ever lets his guard down. I mean, for one, he says that he hates to be alone in public, and I can understand that. I mean, he thinks that someone might come up to him with a knife in a crowd because his name is right up there. I mean, they call him the greatest, like they call Muhammad Ali the greatest. And those are major concerns when your name is that recognizable and your face and everything you've ever done.
It's what I do. I play a game that takes me far from you. And everyone I meet knows who I am. They think I have the world here in my hand. But the eye of a crowd can be the loneliest place around. Do you think of me when you're all alone at night and the song we used to like comes on the radio? Do you think of me and that early morning light driving quickly out of sight? Driving quickly out of sight, away from you.
Yeah, I'm never alone, and you know, I just think that you just can't put yourself in that position of being vulnerable, and I always make sure that I'm with somebody when I'm out of my apartment. I mean, I think that people in general treated me really well, and I've been very lucky, but there's always that one person that doesn't like Wayne Gretzky or Mark Messier or Glenn Anderson, and I really prefer not to argue with people, and I prefer to walk away. And when you're by yourself, a lot of times they don't let you walk away. When you have somebody with you, it's always nice to have somebody else tell them kindly to please leave.
Over the years, I believe that people built up that love-hate relationship. I mean, they love to see the Oilers lose a hockey game. But they, at the same time, they like to come see the Edmonton Oilers play because they like to see them lose.
Lemieux's kind of looking lackadaisical at this point. Because Gretzky scored one tonight and had an assist for two, if I'm right. And there's Mr. Gretzky.
And now it's Mario Lemieux versus Wayne Gretzky. People just love to see Wayne Gretzky, and they love to see Mario Lemieux, and now they'd love to see Mario Lemieux dethrone Wayne Gretzky.
Gretzky does not make a mistake when he's out here on the ice. If you've seen Wayne Gretzky make a mistake, give me a call because I'd like to know about it. And he feed there, Krushelnyski shoots wide. And here comes Gretzky, slap shot, he shoots it wide. It's a goal for Yari Kari. Scores for the Edmonton Oilers. And Gretzky gets an assist, and maybe Mike Krushelnyski gets one in there too. You'd have to be here to believe it, as Mike Lang would call for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Buy a salmon drink and get his dog one too.
It's not a challenge.
It is a challenge.
That's
Every time you step on the ice is a challenge.
It's not. That's where everybody reads me wrong. It's not a challenge to me.
What's that?
It's not. And Kevin knows me better than anybody. It's not a challenge. It's fun.
Well, good. Okay, Grant.
I love it. I don't do it because it's a challenge. I don't go out there and say, well, tonight I got to do this or that. I go out there because I say, I want that puck.
Yeah.
And you guys get your own puck.
That's a great line. That's a great line.
I don't go out there to say, well, I want to score 5 goals tonight. Well, so-and-so's got 10 points, so I got to get 11 points.
No, I don't mean it.
It's like everybody's trying to compare me to Mario Lemieux. Mario Lemieux gets 300 points. I'm happy for him. I am. I'll shake his hand.
As long as you get 3
It's what I do when I'm on that ice,
I mean, if Wayne ever tells you after a game, if you ever ask him, say, Wayne, what'd you get tonight? And he says, well, I'm not too sure. I think maybe I got 3 goals and 2 assists, and one goal was at 2:58 of the first, and the other goal was at 7:29 of the second period. I mean, the guy is a walking statistic. There's people in the city of Edmonton that couldn't care less whether we won any other games that we played against other teams in the National Hockey League, as long as we beat the Calgary Flames.
Talking with the Oiler players coming down to Calgary this morning.
The Battle of Alberta has been an ongoing thing since the history of the province. I mean, they certainly haven't been sister cities by any means.
Dave Semenko, Kevin McClellan, and Marty McSorley. Glenn Sather doesn't dress that trio as a line unless he's really expecting a battle.
I mean, and it doesn't just stand in the sport of hockey. It's in football, it's in politics. It's one city's better than the other. It's unbelievable. Although Calgary was always a great rival, we always seemed to come out on top. I mean, we always managed to win the game. So going into the very last game of the season, I don't think our team took the game as seriously as Calgary.
So the 79th game of the year for both of these hockey teams. It'll be Messier and Otto facing off at center ice.
Our guys were more or less saying, hey, let's get out of this thing unhurt and get ready for the playoffs. And if we lose it, well, we lose it. On the other hand, the win meant the world to Calgary because they had finally beat us. At the time, we said it was good that we lose the hockey game 9-3 because it slaps us in the face and it makes us realize that, well, we didn't go 8-0 with Calgary, that we went 7-1, and although we had 7 victories, the last one was a pretty bad one. So let's be aware and let's be prepared for this hockey team.
Very careful.
That was a great psychological advantage or factor, weighing in their favor. They, finally believed, or they finally got over the mountain. They beat the Edmonton Oilers, and they beat us in a pretty definite fashion.
Is there any?
The last Vancouver game, there was only about 8,000 or 9,000 people at the game. And I remember sitting on the bench in the second period, and we were winning whatever the score is. I can't recall. But I remember saying to myself, this doesn't even feel like a playoff game. And here we are playing in a playoff game, and I don't feel that way. And I'm saying, this is not right. There's something wrong here. This doesn't feel like the playoffs.
Yeah, good series, guys. How'd it go, gang?
And never thought twice about it until afterwards. And I thought, that might have been a bad omen.
You guys, this might be the difference here. Give yourself a good lead.
This team always works hard, boys. Yeah? No one's a hard working team.
My what?
I probably had played 50 or 60 playoff games up to then, and there's a real special feeling. I mean, there's loads of adrenaline that flows through your body, and the intensity is, very difficult to explain. It goes to childhood, it goes to your your dreams of playing in the NHL. It goes to your days of playing shinny hockey on the back, the ponds in behind your house. It goes back to your father buying you your first expensive pair of skates and your first hockey stick and your first National Hockey League game.
Give me Coke too, please. Let's go, Doctor.
Guys, one thing, we're a man short out there. Don't forget to have to go to the I formation. And that second man goes with the first move of the puck all the time. Just keep coming back. So let's do it for the first period. Okay? Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Play hard, gents. Play hard. Last one, boys.
The second year when we eliminated the Montreal Canadiens, and we won the first 2 games in Montreal, and we were sitting in the dressing room after pregame warm-up, and we could hear the fans outside. Now you got to understand, the walk from our dressing room to the actual ice surface is a fair distance, and to hear the fans, I mean, that's unheard of. But there was such a tremendous roar from the crowd that we could hear it in the dressing room. And finally, when the doors were open to the dressing room, we started that walk from the dressing room to the ice surface. I'll never forget that feeling. It's like I want to be on the ice. I want to be in the middle of this roar. I want to really feel it.
Well, folks, tonight's the night. You pays your money and takes your pick. And ladies, you got as much chance of being right as the expert in the house. I'll tell you, for the Flames
take something in your life that you feel is the most important thing, that you feel belongs to you, and then take it away. Have someone take it away. And that's what losing, not only to the Calgary Flames, but losing, period, is to an NHL hockey player, particularly in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and even more so when you were the previous Stanley Cup champions.
Wasn't that easy for me. It took a long time. I mean, I don't know how you could just say, well, the game's over with, and you walk out of the rink and start thinking about the next day. It doesn't work like that. I mean, you remember that these guys had started 10 months ago trying to put this thing together to win, working every day and thinking and planning and agonizing and being happy together and be down together, and you don't get over it. I think it'll be stuck there forever.
I found out about the story in Sports Illustrated on the Oilers about 10 days or 2 weeks after we had lost out to the Flames. It seems in that article we were proven guilty without any of the facts revealed. And the fact remains that there was no facts.
Well, I was aware probably a week to 10 days before the reporters were actually around here.
What had you been told?
I'd been told that Sports Illustrated was doing an expose on drug problem with not only with the Oilers but with the league, and because we had won the Stanley Cup, that's why they wanted to start with us. And then the script was so good after we lost that it was going to be a great story on the Oilers to write.
And when we sat here that day, you said, I know it's not true. I know it. You didn't spend 24 hours with those guys. How do you know?
That's right. I mean, you guys have been around them. I mean, you spent time with them, probably more social time than I did with them last year. I just think it'd be impossible to be able to do that and play hockey, and I still believe that today.
Do you know them well enough to be positive that that's not the case?
Absolutely. Absolutely positive that there can't be a guy that plays professional hockey and have a serious drug problem. And I think that guys that have been exposed to drugs in this league, as in any walk of life. I mean, I'm sure there's guys that have experimented with it at one time, but to a man in the NHL, there couldn't be one guy that could be hooked on any kind of drugs and play on a regular basis. You'd have to notice it. Trainers, the doctors, I mean, everyone, the tests that we do on these guys, I mean, we've done all kinds of scientific tests on them just to see how they can perform. It can't be possible.
It was an education in what it's like being at the top. Plain and simple. We were a high-profile hockey team. We had a great deal of success over the years. For the first few years, everybody loved the Edmonton Oilers. They were Canada's team. They loved to see the Gretzky and the Oilers. They loved to see us win. But that only goes so far. Eventually, people get tired of the success story, and they like to see a loser. And it was that much better this time. They loved to say, aha, you see, those Oilers couldn't handle the success. Aha, the Oilers had problems. They weren't so glamorous. They weren't the boys next door.
Thinking our am. 7 for you. 7. Well, he's always thought. Yeah, number 9, you're gone. Take another holiday. Where you go?
We see Glenn Sather always had the philosophy that you should always change at least 15% of your team. I mean, you've got to get better all the time. So we didn't know if the team the years before were going to remain intact. We didn't know who was going to be there. It was like the first year in the last 4 years that we actually thought, well, whose jobs are secure and whose aren't?
I think that they understand that I've got a job to do and they have a job to do, and if they don't perform, that I'm going to have to change faces. And they know that I'm capable of doing it. I think that they understand that I have a lot of compassion for them, but if they screw up, then the compassion is limited. Winning is the first thing. That's the nature of the beast.
When did the Leafs last win the Stanley Cup? Was 67, wasn't it?
1967, Dave Keon, Tim Horton, and Johnny Boord.
$5 on them. Leafs in 67.
The last 2 summers I've said to Slats, I've called him up and said, Slats, here's the deal. If you want me to come back, I'll come back. If you don't, just tell me. That's fine. I'll retire. because I've had a good run. And he said, well, you know, come to camp. That's what he said last year. And what happened to me this year is what I thought was going to happen last year. I didn't think I was going to play hardly at all last year. But then Pat Hughes got picked up at Buffalo. Willie Lindstrom went to Pittsburgh. A whole slew of guys got hurt. So all of a sudden I played 46 games. And that's 46 more than I thought I was going to play. And this year I asked the same thing, you know, in the summer. He says, whatever you want, it's fine with me. And he said, well, come to camp, but there's no guarantees this year.
You're a hounding him, Lama.
Well, actually, I talked it over with a few of the guys in the team, you know, what they thought I should do. And most of them said, well, why don't you just hang in there for the rest of the year, you know? So take the money.
Well on my way.
Invest it, Lama. Another 10 tickets.
$10 at 10% for 20 years. I'll have $100 for it. You're rich, you're rich, you're rich.
John Muckler said that practices should be productive and enjoyable. Well, they weren't productive because I wasn't really practicing very much, and they certainly weren't enjoyable, so what good was I getting out of them? You have to be able to live with yourself. You have to be happy, and just, I wasn't happy anymore.
I think they have to know that someplace in time that I'm going to be the guy that's going to tell them they're either traded or it's time to be retired.
Go get him, Kevin, go get him!
Yeah, yeah! It's part of the sport. The cycle of building. I mean, players are going to get older, and I mean, it's just a natural progression. The cycle keeps going, and the new guys push the old guys, and eventually the old guys are gone.
That lid on, Doc.
Dropped off and they brought him in the dressing room?
Yeah, in Toronto.
In Toronto? How you doing, Paul? How's it going? we started talking to Joe and Lefty. We got more on that than we did on you.
I was an honor.
Oh,
you guys were 18th place overall. It was really an honor. You guys are awesome.
We're eating it up, 21st.
The sort of things that Paul Coffey did on the ice were similar to what Wayne Gretzky had done for the 6 or 7 previous years. The Norris Trophy for best defenseman, and there was Bobby Orr scoring records, there was points and goals. I mean, he literally won games by himself. Personally, I think his biggest accomplishment was that he was on Wayne Gretzky's level. But at the beginning of this season, he had his problems. One of the problems being Glenn Sather.
Well, Paul is I guess, an extraordinary talent. Probably the greatest skater I've ever seen. Who can be as good as he wants to be and probably as bad as he wants to be, all in the same shift on the ice. I mean, he can make a brilliant play in 10 seconds, and the next 5 seconds he can look awful. And I mean, I can't figure him out. I know when he's playing really well, and I know when he's playing poorly, I have to keep playing him in order to let him play himself out of it. Obviously, you can't lie about it sometimes. Sometimes it's so easy to see that you can't avoid it. Sometimes I do criticize him to get his attention, to get him playing, get him mad at me, and get him playing better.
The press came to me after Glenn said something in the paper, and I wasn't in a great mood that day, and I probably should have thought before I spoke, but I mean, that's
What did you say?
What did I say? Just basically that I was pretty upset. Glenn, sometimes centers is out, I think, in front of everybody. If it means getting you mad at him to make you play better, I mean, Glenn will do that. And a lot of times it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
Well, I think that that we still have to go through the adjustment of changing the attitude on the hockey club that you can't do it by yourself. No matter how much individual talent that we have on the team, you still have to fall into the confines that the coaches describe for you. Calgary set up a specific game plan to play against us to stop the little drop passes and fooling around at the blue line and the weaving. And, I mean, it's no secret. I mean, it's a simple thing to do if you get your players to do it. Our players didn't adapt to that. They're so used to dominating and winning on individual talent by throwing the puck around and being creative that when we ran up against them, they didn't adjust to it. And I think that we're still going through the same problems this year.
Make sure you got lots of slack to get over.
The Oilers lead Montreal 3-1. We're in the second intermission at the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. And Don, I suppose in other circumstances we might say, well, class will tell. Just when people start doubting the Oilers, they come up with a solid performance. But I think some doubts remain. Certainly those Calgary losses linger. And there is the feeling that the Oilers are in trouble no matter who they're playing these days, or they're not automatic winners anyway.
Well, it used to be like the Montreal. You go into Montreal back in the 70s, hang on, and try not to get beat too bad. And it was the same thing here. When you'd come into Edmonton, you used to think, let's not run up the score. But now, after Calgary's done a number on them, people come in here thinking they can win. And they do not have that flow. They used to have that flow, dropping the puck over here. You can see they're winning, but they're winning on guts tonight. They're still struggling.
It's amazing how many people have left the building. There's probably 2,000-3,000 people have left, maybe even more. Okay, Messier now with Gretzky, Lowe and Muni. Face off just inside center on the Oilers side of center ice. Troy Murray and Mark Messier. And Messier gets the draw back to Craig Muni. And he punches a long shot into Murray Bannerman. Murray, be careful. Here's Doug Wilson back in behind the Hawk net. He works it up on the right side for Troy Murray. He rolls at the center. It's tipped by Kevin Lowe. Here's a 2-on-1. Troy Murray went in. He centers it. They score! Secord! Al Secord in sudden death overtime. A power play goal. And it's a 6-5 victory by the Chicago Blackhawks. Kevin Lowe gambled at the blue line and lost. All right, so the Hawks win at 6-5 in sudden death overtime. And a big win it was for the Chicago Blackhawks. They emptied the bench. And they win at 6-5 in sudden death overtime. I'll be back with a game summary in a moment.
I don't think the average fan understands how seriously we take a loss. I mean, how devastating it is. No matter how many games you win, you seem to always remember the losses and how you lost. I mean, you can be 70-10 in an 80-game schedule, and you can barely remember 20 of the 70 wins, but you can remember all of the 10 losses.
I mean, everyone realized that we're all making mistakes, and, you know, the coaches can only have so many meetings, and eventually it gets down to, well, hopefully we'll just try to skate it out of them.
at least you have an advanced warning. I mean, you know from the night before to expect it, so you go home and get a good night's sleep. That day we skated about an hour straight, which is a lot, which is more than, I mean, most practices are an hour, but you actually skate maybe 10 or 12 minutes of the practice, full out. But we skated an hour full out, and then we resurfaced the ice, and we had a normal practice for another hour and a half. I mean, it was unheard of. Never in my 8 years had we done that sort of thing.
They never let you know prior to the practice. You kind of step out there and say, well, you can't pace yourself because they're watching you and they want you to skate as hard as you can. And you just say, well, let's hope my legs hold up and everything I have in my stomach stays in.
Go.
In the game of hockey or pro sports, trades are part of it, and you've got to expect it. But there are some players that are, you figure, less tradable than others. We thought Dave Semenko might have been one of them.
Still in the soup kitchen.
Well, we were end of a road trip, and we're flying back from Winnipeg. We practiced that morning, and we're just into our descent, and Glenn came back and wanted to talk to me. And I thought I don't know what I did. I thought I did something wrong again. And he just said, I just traded you to the Hartford Whalers. And I went, what? And I thought, he had a pretty serious look on his face, so I know he wasn't joking, but it just really took me off guard. I had no idea that was coming up. I didn't anticipate it at all.
Still in the soup kitchen.
I came off airport, and Dick Chuby asked me, what do you think how the fans going to take it? I just said, well, I don't think it's going to be as bad as the Richard riots in Montreal, but... And then a friend of mine that I've known since I've been with the organization, Bob Freeman, came up to me and said, we're still friends, right? And I just lost all my composure. You know, the tears were flowing, and I had to get out of the airport and just sort of collect my thoughts.
I found out through Glenn. Glenn wanted to tell a few of the older guys on the team. Well, he said that I traded Semenko today. He said he traded him to Hartford, and that, the deal was done because he figured he wasn't going to play too much with the Oilers anymore and that he wasn't a big part of their future plans.
Move it. Shove it down. It's going to work here. Man.
I miss a guy who didn't really ever seem to get his feathers ruffled. He always seemed to have complete composure. He sort of defined himself as the Garfield of hockey. This season he hadn't played very much, and he told Wayne, he finally got the nod, he was going to play in a game. And he walked over to Wayne and he said, Gretz, he said, the fans are finally going to get their money's worth. They see the performer on the ice and they don't know the performer's personality. And in this case, Dave Semenko was a real gem.
That's why I say we got a team when you players like that, and Dave's been here. I played with him for 9 years and 8.5, I guess, and that it's a big difference when you leave and go to another team because we got guys on a team, like I bring that up, but is that we get along pretty good. We've been together for a while, and it makes a difference, and especially when you're winning, and you're winning as a team and winning as friends, makes it really, it's really a fun game then.
The guy says to me, "Do you guys, you looking forward to go on the road so you guys can get closer together?" And I said, "This team? It doesn't matter if we're at home or on the road or on the moon." It's true. This team is closer than any other team in professional sports will ever be. I mean, look at Koff. Calls me every day. I can't get rid of him.
Paul Coffey says that when he gets away from the game, it's not actually the game that he's going to miss. It's not the goals and the assists and the winning. It's the 20 minutes in the dressing room prior to the game that we spend together dressing.
Showtime. 6:20 warm up. 6:20 warm up. Yeah.
And the dressing room's quiet, and here's 20 guys putting on their equipment, and everyone is in tune of the conversation.
Who's everyone who's backhand? Right?
And so if one guy says something, another guy responds, and then, of course, the little conflicts of interest go back and forth, and the little japs go back and forth.
Pay attention to. The other thing that we want to do in this game is spend some time in our zone making sure you pick up the guys we talked about in practice yesterday. Don't go by the guy. And don't throw the puck into the zone without knowing where you're going to throw it. You're going to take somebody out and finish him off. We'll work on those two things tonight.
Get a hard shot, boys. No rebounds out there.
Yep.
Come on, Moger. Good start for you, guy. That's it.
Don't lose any. Win every shift.
All right, we'll start at Roy. Robinson, Carbonell, Gainey, Zingra, Nyland. Start at Mo.
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
Mo.
Yeah.
McCullen.
Yeah.
Sorley.
Yeah.
Kruzeliski.
Come on, boys, now.
Hey, Matt.
And hey, Matt.
Come on, boys. Come on.
Come on, Smitty, come on now. Come on, guys. Come on, boys. Here we go, boys. Come on, boys.
The only way we can be successful is to win the Stanley Cup again. If we don't win, it doesn't make any difference because we're still going to be criticized. Players were lousy, the coaching was terrible. It doesn't matter what happens. If we don't win the Stanley Cup, the criticism will be heaped on us. You know, now they're talking about the almost great team. It doesn't make any difference what we've done. If we don't continually win, at some point in time, this team is going to be criticized. And it's a heavy load for them to carry. But that's something that they have to accept.
Our experiences in the playoffs were similar to the regular season, sort of a roller coaster ride. We lost to Los Angeles in the first game, a slap in the face, turned it around. We climbed to new heights in the Winnipeg series, played our best hockey, and then slacked off thinking that Detroit would be easy. We lost the first game, we won 2 tight games, and this was a crucial game. We knew that if they tie it up, that is at least a 6-game series, perhaps a 7-game series, and that the brand of hockey they're playing, the physical brand of hockey, that they might wear us down before it's all over.
Sorley to Gretzky, into the slot, a pass to Kruzeliski, right in. Scores! Mike Kruzeliski from Gretzky, a great play. It's a 3-2 hockey game. And the Oilers, big sigh of relief.
Way to go, boys. Way to go. Get ready. Take a chance. Good game, T. How to go, buddy? All right, Doctor. Go, Cop. George. Come on, get working, boys. Come on, Cruiser. Great game, Cruiser. Great goal, buddy.
It was an incredibly taxing playoff series. Well, the heat in the building is really extremely draining on the player physically. Mentally, the playoffs speak for themselves. Everyone was incredibly tired and sort of just glad that it was all over.
Way to go, boys. Way to go, Wade. Good game, guys. Cruz, way to go.
Character. Not getting any prejudice. This game's killing me. They say I never get hit.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Edmonton Oilers.
Once we finally beat Detroit, it was like, all right, we've crossed that road, but we sort of expected it, and this is what we've been waiting for all season long.
Tickets for the Stanley Cup Final. It's home game number 12 in your ticket package.
It's sort of ho-hum, another Campbell Conference Championship.
At the Northlands Coliseum.
I mean, no one even knows what a Campbell Conference Trophy is. There wasn't going to be any excitement, there wasn't going to be any jubilation, any partying until we won the Stanley Cup, and that was ahead of us.
Played well. Grant, thank you.
People in the city of Edmonton talk about the first Stanley Cup, and even the second Stanley Cup for that matter, as being a highlight of their life. And if it's a highlight of their life, and they were just a part of it as far as a spectator, I mean, it makes it that much more astounding or that much more spectacular in our eyes.
26, Mike Krushelnicki. 29, Rayo Rutsalainen. 33, Marty McSorley.
It's just everything combined. It's the fanfare.
Wayne Gretzky.
It's everyone in your hometown phoning and saying that they'll be watching. If anyone's a hockey fan anywhere in North America, or in the world for that matter, all eyes will be on you. They'll be watching you. Well, we really didn't know what to expect from the Flyers because when you only play a team 3 times in the regular season, you don't have a very good indication of what they're all about. And it was a tight game right till the 3rd period. And I think they might have been a little tired from the Montreal series or might have let their guard down somewhat. But what they got was a quick lesson on heavy Edmonton Oilers artillery. I mean, 3 goals in 9 minutes in the 3rd period scored by Glenn Anderson, Gary Curry, and Paul Coffey.
This one is over. The Oilers win the opening game of the Stanley Cup Championship Series. Gretzky, a pass in front, Coffey, Curry scores! Gary Curry! The Oilers lead the series 2-0. They win the hockey game 3-2. A spectacular shot from Gary Curry on a good pass from Paul Coffey and Wayne Gretzky. And the Oilers mobbing Gary Curry.
We had never had a great deal of success in Philadelphia, so we knew to expect the worst. And that's pretty well what we got. You physically feel the force of the crowd in Philadelphia. They go for decibel level. They're cheering with a vengeance. When you're on the ice, you go, hey, I'm not only playing against the Philadelphia Flyers, I'm playing here against the fans. Kate Smith is an old-time singer who sang God Bless America as the Flyers anthem. And before she passed away a couple of years ago, her record with the Flyers was 56 wins, 9 losses, and 2 ties. And I'm sure of those 9 losses, none of them were in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm sure every time she sang in the playoffs, they won. She was the Flyers' good luck charm, back to haunt the opposition. Well, after the Kate Smith episode, we got out of the gate pretty well. I mean, we played as freewheeling a brand of hockey as we possibly could have. I mean, the Flyers, I think, forgot who they were playing, and we took a 3-0 lead. And then it was our fault we got ahead of ourselves thinking, well, this is great. I mean, this is going to be fun. And the wheels fell off. And it ended 5-3. And not only that, but it's kind of letting the Tiger out of its cage. Underestimating the Flyers the way we did for the latter part of Game 3 was probably the biggest mistake we could have ever made.
I mean, we were real upset last night and upset this morning, but we had a good team meeting, and now it's just a case of being real positive. I mean, and we've talked about it. If we had said to ourselves last September that if we made it to the Stanley Cup Finals and we were up 2-1 after 3 games, we would have been pretty happy, and that's what we are right now. You know, those games in Edmonton were close. They might have went either way, so we're happy where we are.
How's the ice? Same? Better?
Although he hadn't been dominating the scoring, he was still playing the way Wayne Gretzky normally does. But he made a statement in Game 4. 3 assists on the first 3 goals by Gretzky. I mean, what more does a guy have to do? And the final score is 4-1. And we're heading back to Edmonton. Happy campers. Thinking we're gonna win. After we arrive home from Game 4, a long flight from Philadelphia, and after having played what could have been the most crucial game of the series, not too many hours later, Grant's on the golf course.
2 goalies against 2 forwards. Who's up?
I mean, how relaxed does a guy have to be? Well, someone asked him, how could he possibly play 36 holes in the middle of the Stanley Cup Finals? And his answer to that was, because there wasn't time to play 54. Grant Fuhr never complains about anything. The number of shots he faces, or the way he faces them, or the people in his crease. It really is tough to imagine anything bothering Grant Fuhr. Well, we were feeling very good about ourselves. We had probably our best game of the entire playoffs in Game 4 in Philadelphia. Coming home to our adoring fans, the scene was set. The parade was set. The civic reception was set. We were going to win the Stanley Cup in Game 5.
Gretzky's got it to center. Here's Gretzky in on the left side. He shoots the same rebound. Posar scores! Marty McSorley or Posar! 2-0.
And after Marty McSorley scored to make it 2-0 in the first period, the ending was written. We were almost there. And then the Flyers showed us something that we never thought they had. They came back to win the game 4-3. Back to Philadelphia for Game 6, which would be, as it turned out, the toughest game of the series. We could see it on their faces at the end of the game. We knew that the Flyers were for real, and we knew that they believed that they were for real.
Take 19, 3, 2, 1. Is Tonight the Night? I'm Lou Tilley. A special live report from the Spectrum tonight at 11.
So we are all set for Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Championship Series. The Oilers lead the series 3 games to 2, a victory here in Philadelphia tonight, and they will win the Stanley Cup Final.
Here's Gretzky in behind the net. When they score! Kevin Lowe jams it into the net, and it's a 1-0 hockey game.
We couldn't have played any more discipline than we did in Game 6, so that was frightening.
His second shorthanded goal of the playoffs.
Well, we led the whole game,
Into the corner to Ekman.
And the Flyers tied it up on a Brian Kropp power play goal midway through the third period. If you could anticipate the change in momentum, you'd certainly do something to prevent it. It just comes at you, it hits you all of a sudden. And by the time it hits you, it's like a tornado or a hurricane. It's hit you and it's passed and it's gone, and you can't do anything about it.
Say, Zessel over there, he's coming up, and I'm coming up, and they're throwing the two guys. Yeah.
Up the middle, a pass, trying to find Kropp
And
again.
shortly after, J.J. Daniels scored the winning goal. And the Spectrum erupted like it never has before. It's the morning of the 7th game of the Stanley Cup Final. Well, the only reason why anyone would get any sleep is because they were totally exhausted at that point, but it was like Christmas for a kid, jumping out of bed, knowing that today's a big day, knowing what's ahead of you. That it was the first 7th game of a Stanley Cup Final in 16 years, and it's only happened 6 times ever.
Fill in that on him.
Come on, confident, baby. Hey, boys, we're all together up here. Fuck it, guys. Come on now.
Come on, sir, right now.
Exactly it.
In here, guys. Let the whole world against us. Let's show everybody. Good start. Everybody get in there right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Here we go, Blue. Come now, come now.
Come on, guys.
Hold now, hey.
It's a matter of pride or a matter of destiny. If it's talent and skill or it's just God's will, doesn't matter at all to me. 'Cause I see it so clear, it's undeniably near. I've been the best I can be. I've got it coming to me. There's a moment in time when I find myself on top. There's a moment in time when it feels like time has stopped. For the rest of my life, I'll be living in history. That moment in time can't be taken away from me. It's a burning inside, just the way it's supposed to be. If I keep it in sight, maybe stand and fight, it's gonna be there for me. And I want it so bad. It's every dream I've had, the one desire I know I can never let go. There's a moment in time when I find myself on top. And there's a moment in time when it feels like time has stopped. For the rest of my life, I'll be living in history. That moment in time can't be taken away from me.
We're going to take a series of pictures. This is the official team picture first. Okay, the standing row.
Are we standing?
Coffee, you're what now? You're one up. One up. Okay, trainer, Charlie Huddy, Kevin Lowe, Gretz. You're somehow in there. I'll get you in. Charlie, let Mark in. Even these little marks show up something fierce, guys. Try to avoid it, please. Where's the guy with the rag?
Well, pull your shirt down the inside. I want to see
Pull up, guys, so we know where we are. Let's go.
Come on, Lyle.
Mac, you're not up back.
Jurgie, you're on this end with Peter.
My guys wear these t-shirts anyway.
Come on, boys, let's go.
No, but I mean, we're ready when you are.
You got to get it tied up with the guys. Yeah, I agree. Next year, we got to get the sweaters with the ties on. No, in the middle of them.
I like that.
Okay, drinks. I know we're trying to avoid skate lights.
We gotta pull Mark's down again. Charlie, pull your t-shirt over.
I think the older you get, you reflect on situations like that. You become nostalgic. This group of individuals will never be together again. But when the picture's over with, the season's over with. And they lock everything up, and you're gone for 2 months, and you come back, and you got to start all over again.
1. Walk up here, Kevin.
2. 3.
Hold it. Come on, Glenn.
1, 2, 3.
Let's put it this way. When we won the Stanley Cup, I was the happiest guy in the world. And I shook everybody's hand, and I thought it was great. And last year when we lost, I was the first guy to shower and change and shake everybody's hand and get out of there. And everybody was crying and everything else. But it's over with. That's last year is last year. You win, that's last year. You lose, that's last year. Doesn't mean anything. You're only as good as your last game. That's what you are.
That was your last shift.
Last shot. I'm getting technical.